This is the fourth excerpt for the Nowhere Girls. Um, it's a flashback where Rachel is thinking about her relationship with Ebb. She's actually waiting for him to call her. She's trying to get in touch with him from a public phone, and while she's waiting, she's kind of flashing back on their relationship. You know how you know it's love? Because nothing else before has been a bit like it. Not movie stars, not the Beatles, not the boy who held your hand in eighth grade. Because with them, there was always a you, and now there is no you. There is only him, the boy coming towards you, and the feeling that your whole body is alive because he sees you, that your feet might start walking on their own just from the joy of him. And then nothing can go wrong. You know down to the ends of your toes that everything is going to be all right. On the last day of school, 10 days after Rhoda's party, I took Mr. Leone's U.S. History exam. Final essay question about the Civil Rights Bill, describe how its passage might change American society. Algebra, and then English, and after the bell rang and the whirlwind departed, I had no particular reason to want to go home, so I stayed to help Miss Regent clean up her room. She gave me two leftover paperbacks from her class library, Lord of the Rings and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I only ended up reading about 50 pages of the first, but I raced through Cuckoo's Nest. Then I went outside, and it was hot and deserted. All the cars that were normally parked along the curb had zoomed away forever, until fall, at least. I went down the front steps, and at the bottom I heard the door bang, and when I looked up, it was Ebb. What was he doing, getting out so late? Had he been waiting for me? I never asked. I remembered, don't make conversation. So all the way to the end of the block, we just walked together, and I didn't say anything. Sometimes he balanced on the curb, and sometimes he stepped up on someone's wall or fence, grabbing at a low-hanging tree branch as if he were going to swing from it. He started to tell me a story, something about St. Louis, about taking his father's car when he was 14 and the car almost going in the river. And when I asked if he got into trouble with his parents, he said, well, sure, they wanted to know what I was thinking. And then we both laughed. He didn't say anything about Mom or my father or anything else. When we came to my house, no one was home, and I opened the door anyway and let him in. I turned the swamp cooler on and put the Beatles on Mom's old record player, which had come from a garage sale and was strictly mono. I knew Ebb would notice that. And we lay down on the living room floor and listened. I wonder why lying on the floor is such a good way to listen to music. It's almost like it floats up there with the dust and the cigarette smoke. You can almost look at it. We weren't touching lying there. We weren't even near each other. We just lay there, and Ebb talked. And because at first I didn't say much, she talked more, telling me about St. Louis. It wasn't anything chronological. It was just memories coming out. And I started to talk too, the kind of thing where what you want to say just comes bubbling up. Something you did when you were 9 years old, or some opinion you have that you've been carrying around for years and never told anybody. No apologies, no explanations, but something between us, something honest now, like we'd gotten everything cleared up, and now we had the summer before us. We didn't say anything about Judy either. I never even asked him. You know, in movies and books, girls always get swept off their feet, right into bed, like they never think about it, they just do it. But I think in real life it's not like that most of the time. I mean, if you know the guy for months or years, like some of the girls at the home did, you talk about it. I think most of them thought, it's okay, we're in love. Maybe even, we're going to get married. I remember the next day walking along the street to Ebb's in the heat and stillness, knowing exactly why I was going there, conscious of my ankles for some reason, and that I was wearing Mom's perfume. I was perfect, ready. I wanted him to see that. I knew he would see that. That's the worst thought in the world, that he didn't see any of that, that he was just looking for her. But I don't believe that. I could tell by the way he looked at me, not just that day, but all summer, even weeks later, the way he'd pretend to dance with me, the old kind of dancing, touching each other, to get me closer to the bed, the eagerness with which he unlocked the door once when we had an hour alone. They can laugh at me now, the girls who say they would have done it, who enjoy when other girls get caught doing something they were afraid to do maybe, or maybe nobody ever wanted them. They're wasting their lives, I can tell them that. Because when I walked down the street to his house, I was perfect. I don't think the other girls here think like I do. They think they were fools. If they weren't, they'd be married now and have new dishes. But I don't think I was a fool. I don't think Ed was fooling me. I know him. I know he'll call.